Hello, everyone. My name is Siegelin, and I'd like to welcome you back to the SkillBased Minicast. Today, I will be your gracious host, and with me will be my usual co-hosts. And by usual, I mean the only two people that know how to fucking show up. We have B-Sap here.
Hello there, always here and on time.
That is true, except for today, you were not on time. Darvo, how you doing?
Hello, I am here. As if I wasn't, there would be no podcast.
As much as I want to call you out on that, you're right.
Anyways, good, a good shots fired there in the beginning. I like it.
There's two people missing. I got to shoot at least 2 shots. We're good. Anyways, today I'm gonna be talking about something that a lot of people like, a lot of people don't. I'm very neutral on the subject. DLCs, expansions, add-ons, everything of the sort throughout the ages, big and small. Boy, there's some good ones, and boy, are there some definitely bad ones. Anyone have any super strong ones that just appear? Because I can think of 2 right off the bat that I can just.
Are we talking super? Are we talking super strong, as in super really good things that really stuck out to you?
Really good, really bad, something you just feel really passionate about.
I'll start with one, which is a really good one, and I feel that a lot of people will agree on this, especially if they played any of the Borderlands, namely number 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. That is one of my all-time favorites. It is one of the best DLCs I've ever played in general. I just feel that it really stands up there in terms of like the downloadable content that comes after a game has already been released. I'd say there's been a lot of DLCs that I've just never really felt the need to get because they weren't all that worth it.
I'm curious what you think a DLC that isn't worth it is.
I'm really trying to find this really bad one. I've had a couple, but none all that too, I guess, damaging because I just didn't buy them. You know what? I think you might have to come back to me on that one.
Okay. If you say so. Mikey, you got anything that pops out to you?
I'm actually going to expand on that one because Tiny Tina's DLC was so really good and so iconic. Years later, it's getting its own standalone expansion or its own standalone game based on it. That is unbelievable writing. That is unbelievable commitment from the fans to still want it. Like, that is the epitome of what every DLC should aim to be. Like, they just did it so right. And how do I say this without being too much of a jackass? There are some companies that see that and think it's way easier said than done. And the entire every cosmetic in Battlefront 2 being behind a paywall or DLC, that was the prime example of how not to fucking do it, in my opinion. Because I don't know if you guys remember, that ended up in a federal court case.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that a Star Wars game, of all things, had to go through federal court over some executive in the office saying, hey, you know that thing Gearbox did that was super successful? Let's not do any of that. We're better. Big brain.
You realize it was made by EA, correct? But part of that was surprising.
The fact that they keep doing it.
No, that shouldn't be a surprise. Like, ever. EA hasn't changed for years, and they never will. If anything, they'll change for the worse.
I don't know how true how true that is. I'll argue that they have made many a mistake. Oh my gosh. I will stand by Gearbox, as in most of their DLC has been fantastic. I know a lot of people didn't like the Captain Scarlet one or the Zombie Island. I thought those were great. Borderlands DLCs are always fantastic. A bad one, and Adrian, I know you're going to love this one. The easy fatality tokens you can buy on Mortal Kombat X.
I mean, it's whatever.
Why would you have an option to even spend money on fatalities? If you can't do them, don't play Mortal Kombat. That's part of the lure of the game.
Well, yeah, but you also have to realize that. Can you imagine how many of those they sold?
Oh my
God,
god.
I hope none. I genuinely don't want them to be successful in that because then it sets a bad example.
Not really, because Mortal Kombat 11 ended up being bad, so it's whatever, really. I mean, like, how are you gonna have a game where Shao Kahn doesn't have his upward elbow? Like, come on, that is just heresy.
Okay, yeah, but don't hit me with that.
It's true.
Before I get too angry, do you want me to switch with one that I like really hold near and dear to my heart?
Sure, I'm down to hear it because you like a lot of weird things.
I do, and this is one you're gonna like too. I won't be too singled out here. Fallout 3, Broken Steel.
Okay, I really thought you were gonna say another one.
What, The Pit?
No.
What did you think I was gonna say?
I'm trying to think of what it was called. The oh geez, I feel terrible.
Alien, Alaska. One. Which one?
The swamp one.
The swamp one. Point Lookout. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Point Lookout, but for the same price and what it added to the game, Broken Steel was the one that fixed the ending to every Fallout game, where you die and the game ends. This lets you come back, explore shit, added new parts to the campaign, new power armor, new characters, new locations. It like for $15, game you damn near another full game to stack on top of it. And the average playtime was something like 10 hours if you speed ran it. And then it massively stacked on that if you did all the side quests, exploring. And then now you can just roam around the map at high level and go look at all the stuff you may have missed during the regular campaign. It was like, I don't want to say perfect, but it was damn near there.
Yeah, it was a really good addition. I just liked Point Lookout more. Point Lookout just felt there's just something about Fallout 3 that I really enjoyed, and that was just walking around in dark crevices and finding things. And Point Lookout did that really well for me. The thing I really didn't like about Broken Steel is that you kind of had to follow a path. There was really no getting around it.
Yeah, but once you were done with said path, there was a lot more to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. But if I'm buying a DLC, it's because I want to experience something in the DLC. At least for me, I don't want it to be something that I do afterwards. The only exception to that I have is for Old World Blues in New Vegas. And that's because doing that one before everything and reaping the benefits of it after is actually really, really satisfying. Because, for being honest, you kind of deserve it. If you got through Old World Blues, you kind of deserved everything you got after it. It was hard.
I'm currently trying to redo it right now, and I've died 5 times.
It's hard. It's rough, man.
And it's crazy. Old World Blues is recommended for level 20 and higher.
That's such a lie. It's such a lie.
You want to take a guess at what level I'm playing at and I'm dying?
35.
32. You were close. You were really close. Level 32 character is getting slaughtered by the endless hordes of enemies that will respawn mid-combat.
That's just how it is, man. Oh, man, what a great DLC. Oh.
And it's crazy. That one was so good, they tried to rebuild it for Fallout 4 in Far Harbor.
I don't want to talk about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Can we just... Fallout 4's got one banger DLC that's redeeming.
Yeah, Nuka fucking Cola.
I just mean in general.
Yeah, Nuka World. Am I the only psycho that just walks around theme parks and think, man, this place would be great for a dystopian city?
You might be.
Fuck you. Don't call me out like that. No comment. Come on. Okay, there is an exception to that rule. I would not go to Universal Studios. Not for... I don't like the park. Mostly because... that landscape, man. I don't know if you've seen the one in California, Brandon. To get to the lower part of the park, you have to take like 2 quarter-mile long escalators. That is not practical for any city environment whatsoever.
It's just not practical in general.
Or it'd be really practical and everybody would have killer legs by the end of the first year living there.
True.
Bro, them legs would be...
It always leg day in Universal City.
That's actually a good title, a good name. I like that. That's good.
I may or may not have thought about that beforehand.
You're an idiot.
These are the things I think about. I'm not claiming I'm in the right here. I'm claiming I'm wired like this.
Anyways,
Built different.
You're built something.
You're built
I'll say
stupid. I will be real.
There it is.
I'm tough, but I ain't no Ford. Just burn that sponsorship
Anyways.
bridge.
Anyways.
All right, yeah.
And moving past that one, God, one DLC that will always pop out to me for all of eternity and for the rest of time. Actually, I'm curious, Mike. You live with me. What DLC from a game I'll tell you is not on the Xbox One do you think I enjoyed more than probably anything else in the world?
That is not on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Has it been backwards compatible or no?
I don't know. I don't check that shit.
I'm just dead. Okay, I just figured. Every part of me wants to say The Divide. I don't know why. I feel like it's very your aesthetic, but I'm probably wrong.
To be honest, that was a really good guess.
It just seems like you, and Ulysses is very much your kind of character. I don't know. That would be my knee-jerk reaction.
From a storytelling standpoint, you would be right, but from a gameplay standpoint, the fucking Honest Hearts DLC.
I was right.
So
Folks, I get half a point.
good.
They're both New Vegas DLCs.
Yeah, New Vegas is just a banging of game.
Yeah, it is.
I'll give you that. Honest Hearts is probably my favorite DLC in that game to play because story on point, characters on point, weapons and unique items in that part of the map on point, exploration on point. It is just good. It is pure, well-rounded delivery.
It's just good.
It really is.
Everything about Honest Hearts just hits so well. Like, I honestly can't think of... I mean, I can think of a few bad things about it. But there's just, like, so many overwhelmingly good things that were done in it that it's actually impressive.
What I want to hear now, what are your nitpicks? Because I can think of maybe one. Maybe.
I have some issues with the way things are spread out. I feel like some locations were too easy to get to.
Damn. I was going to say mapping. I'm not even playing.
Yeah. Like,
for as much as they crammed into that DLC, it could have done with being a little bit bigger.
Just a little bit. I understand it's a canyon, but just a little bit.
It's one of those things where...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
I was going to say, if anything, I feel like some of like the lookout points and like the service towers and stuff, or not service towers, the stations and stuff, they could have been taller. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of them were right off of road level, huh?
One of them is literally like 10 feet from a road. Granted, that road's on a hill, but like, it's... I don't... Like, if you had to like walk up trails, like, one that pops out to me is when you fight Joseph Seed in Far Cry 5, where he's on like the rock spire. If the towers were on stuff like that, yeah. I think I enjoyed the scenery a lot more.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
But yeah, dude, Honest Hearts is just such a well done DLC. Like, oh man, that I don't know. I think I'm just realizing I'm a sucker for storytelling DLCs. That and oh my god, what's it called? The Leviathan DLC for Mass Effect.
So glad. All right, with the transition to that, you are 100% right. The secrets, the storytelling, the scene setting of going from a intergalactic travel system to hopping in an archaic old school mech and diving to the bottom of an unmapped ocean, that is such good story and world building. That DLC delivered on all fronts.
Yeah, it really took a game where everything's so open and expansive and just said, let's do the exact opposite of that, and it's going to be just as good.
They really delivered on that end. Brandon, have you ever played the Mass Effect games? I gotta know.
Yes.
From previous conversations that we've had about Mass Effect, I will say this one more time. I have yet to play any Mass Effect games. I plan on...
I thought you played one.
No, I haven't played any. I plan on playing them eventually, just certain circumstances, and the fact that I have 100 other games right now, I I'm putting it on the back burner.
Okay, Adrian, I gotta ask you a quick question since he hasn't played it. Anyways, since he hasn't played the trilogy yet, because we're gonna ignore that last one. Oh man, how do I say this without being creepy? Which romance option is the lizard brain gonna go for?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, ignoring the new one, I was gonna say P.
I don't know. I feel like Brandon would get along with what's her name? Sid in the new one.
I didn't play enough of the new one. I stopped after like the second planet, dude. That game was. Shout out back to the horror game podcast. That was the scariest horror game ever made.
Look at how much money they wasted, and there's nothing here. It's all empty. The resources, they're all gone.
Andromeda was the worst DLC ever made. I'm gonna say it. Going back into expansive games, I'm curious to see what another thing Darvo would like, because Borderlands is a gimme. Everyone loves Borderlands, especially you, Darvo. I know you and Deej used to play that stuff a lot.
Yeah, we played a lot of Borderlands 2. I would say a good amount of 3. I played a lot of 1. I have no idea if DJ's played a lot of 1. I have. Pre-sequel, I'm going to just forget it exists.
Fair enough.
Fair.
But, okay, I want to say, when it comes to anything but that, because, yes, Borderlands is a good gimme, like a good, like, whatever.
Very good.
I'm gonna have to point out a series of DLCs that are dear to my heart because I love these games, and I really hope that Bethesda doesn't fuck up the next one. Oblivion's DLCs were amazing, especially the one all based around Sheol-Gorath. If you know, you know. It is pure comedy throughout the entire DLC. I kind of just want to touch on a bad one, just because it also sparked a big controversy. And yes, they're technically DLCs. Basically, 90% of Battlefront 2 at launch before they made the big change. And everyone knows what I'm talking about whenever you bring up Battlefront 2's launch.
Yeah,
that was a mess. That was a mess. That was a scam. I hope
that's how bad it is. We gotta bring it up 2 times, motherfuckers.
I hope no one bought shit from that, because goddamn it, if you did, I know they did.
You know they did.
And oh yeah, if you did, you're a piece of shit.
Deserve what happened to them.
You a piece of shit.
They were probably like 12, dude. Cut them a break.
Take your damn credit card away from your kid. That shit is a recipe for disaster.
Your 12-year-old's got your credit card number. What the fuck are you doing?
Anyways.
I don't want to talk on that. I've been talking about that subject for a while. But moving on.
We're not going to touch on that. But that's the bad one that I wanted to bring up. I brought up a second good one just because I felt that Borderlands one was a little too easy. So,
I don't want to say that it's too easy, but it's a good answer.
It is, and I'll take it to my grave. That is an amazing DLC. I low-key want to play it again.
Do it in preparation.
You actually reminded me of something. If you guys don't mind making a 2-3 minute detour,
go for it, because I can talk forever about my next one.
Well, Brandon, you brought up another Bethesda game that DLC launches literally broke servers for a while.
Oh.
Did you know that all of the Skyrim, Oblivion, and any of the Elder Scrolls DLCs, 99% sure you can find working, full custom, fan-made mods for Fallout 4 that'll run them?
I've heard.
I actually did the Dawnbreak one very recently, and I'm like, okay, it'll be gimmicky. Maybe there'll be enemies with different names. Vampires and werewolves have their own skill trees. There's new locations added to the map. There's entire quest lines. There's different weapons and armor and enchantments. It is insane how much a I think it's only like a 5 gig DLC adds to a 5 gig mod adds to that game. That's how much time and passion the fans put into it because it was that good. Like, and seeing it in the updated newer graphics, mind blowing. That shit took me back to a better year, honestly.
Oh yeah, and I'm just gonna throw this out there just so everyone knows. I ain't gonna just say that the Dawnguard DLC was a bad one. It definitely could have been better in terms of writing. I will say that the different locations that it took you and the different I guess the new skill tree because of the vampire skill or race add-on, whatever, added something new and new effects to the game and all this other shit. I really do feel that they could have done better, but it is still, in my opinion, a very good DLC, especially with all the things that they added to the game. That's added a lot more hours of gameplay and ways to actually play the game. And let's be real, that dwarven crossbow was broken.
I think that was a very fair way to put it. Because let's face it, Bethesda games have a bad habit of adding 10 things and one of them just doesn't work right for whatever reason.
Oh no, the dwarven crossbow worked. Is in terms of broken, I meant it is very
I know what you mean.
Very powerful. It's very powerful.
Adrian and I run legacy weapons on 76.
I don't know what you're referring to.
You know exactly.
That is a totally legitimate laser rifle.
You have Nikola Tesla's death ray that the government couldn't find. That's what you have.
I have 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
So does Sergio. Our buddy stole 2 of those things from another player because he wasn't paying attention. Procured.
They were liberated from that bag on the floor.
They were liberated from an ignorant player. I will give you that.
Yeah. Somebody else might have gotten it wrong.
If the guy who got robbed is listening, I'm going to put Sergio's PlayStation name on the description. You can go sort that out yourself.
Oh, but now that we're on this topic of DLCs, and we've already talked about previous or past ones, I kind of want to touch up on how DLCs are being done now. Like, we're talking live service or expansions or just the good old microtransactions.
Fair.
What are your thoughts? How do you think this is gonna go? Because there are developers or publishers that do it right, but then there's a lot that do it terribly. I want your opinions.
I'm gonna go off, so you may want to save me for later.
All right, CJ.
Okay. All right, Rant Tower. I hate the fact that it's going to be the thing moving forward. It just is. There's no way you're going to have a content release that's going to be free for every single. I won't even say like 1 out of every 10 games will have consistent releases that are just free. It's always going to be microtransactions. It's always going to be something. Like, that's just how the world is going to go. And honestly, it's fine. I respect supporting the company you want. But I'll be honest. Some of them are a bit ridiculous. Some of them are too much. Like,
okay, yeah.
I think in the past, 2 years, I have spent so little on expansions for anything. And if I do buy them, it's usually because they're on sale. And I'm just like, it's a couple of dollars. Who cares at that point? The only exception I made was when Monster Hunter World Iceborne came out. Because I felt that was worth it.
It was
very much worth it.
It was. I think all of us, including the 2 people that aren't here, would 100% agree with us that Iceborne was worth it.
Iceborne had more content than most new games on release.
True.
Iceborne was a new game, and by today's standards,
it might as well have been.
It really is,
especially when they added the higher difficulties. That we're talking G ranks.
Oh, so much fun.
I didn't get there, and I'll still support it because it was that well put together.
It was good, and I hate that kind of thing just isn't gonna happen really nearly as much anymore, if at all. It's I miss when content was down, additional content was so good that you can just be like,
Yes, take my money. It's worth it.
So what I really hate is that, like, I miss the days when additional content could just come out and it was so good and so grand and so big, and just there was so much to it that you as a person could be like, oh, I would happily spend $50 on that. I don't care that I can buy an entire another game. I want this additional content for this one thing for the same price. And like you can't really do that anymore, I feel like. I feel like most DLC you get a couple hours, maybe a couple days, a week tops, and then you're done with it. Like that kind of sucks. Like it's really disappointing to like not look forward to new releases. I don't know. Is that just me?
No. Okay, if even matter if I cut in here.
Go for it.
I really want to point out that I share your sentiment, and when it comes to how games are now, because that whenever I hear that dreaded phrase live service, I already know that a lot of the game's content that could be there at launch is going to be spread out for later dates after it already released. And that's the story with a lot of AAA games, especially now, that sure, the add-ons or the DLC are free, but the game itself on release is so like lacking in content that it gets A, boring really fast, and two, you can get most things done really quickly to where you're just sitting there for weeks, maybe months, waiting for new shit to be added into it. And when things are, they're probably not all that big or all that time consuming, and they'll last you maybe another week or two.
You said all that, and all I heard was the new Halo game.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I will.
Sure, I'll be real. Yeah, sure. The one multiplayer was released a month early. Sure, it was. I'm gonna be real. I think that they should have had game mode selection day one.
Yeah.
And now that they're finally doing it, like the last update added game mode selection. Granted, I really feel that they need to add more game modes compared to the ones they have now. Because let's be real, Halo is known for the game modes. They have tons and tons of game modes that they have made or fans have made over the years that have become official game modes, and I don't see why they are not in the game right now. But they are in games like MCC, but they're there in MCC, but not in this new one.
And Splitgate.
And Splitgate, true. Yeah, Splitgate takes a lot of inspiration from Halo, and they have shit.
Really? What tipped you off?
I keep calling Splitgate Halo Plus, and people keep trying to punch me.
Halo Light.
Halo Light.
Halo Light.
Adrian, it's Halo Max.
Halo Max.
Do I know anything about the campaign? No, not yet, because me and DJ are going to wait for co-op to come out, so I'm not touching it. Maybe by then, there'll be more to the game itself. I still love it. I still enjoy it. Infinite's been very fun. I think it's the best Halo since Halo 3 in terms of gameplay.
Which says a lot.
Yeah, Halo 4 and 5, well, they're rough. They're very rough, especially 5. That one, I'd say I played for maybe 2 weeks until I stopped playing it and uninstalled it. And I think that was another version of like a live service game. I wouldn't say it's totally live service, but
it was akin to it.
Those loot boxes. That was a game that had loot boxes before they stopped doing those. And my God, that made that Warzone or War game mode that they had in there was like it was unbearable because of people that would buy those loot boxes and get the good shit out of it, and it'd be totally unbalanced. That's another form of DLC I hated. The loot box or the microtransactions that technically became pay to win in some games.
But no one's gonna admit that. It's totally fair and balanced if everyone has access to it.
You can suck a chode.
Honestly, Like
it's
just the way it is.
Like when it comes to games like Overwatch, I didn't care if you buy them. there is no advantage of them. They're just cosmetic, and
None.
that's totally fine. I'm okay with only cosmetic loot boxes because they don't do anything in terms of gameplay. They're just looks.
Yeah. I fully believe if you want to decorate your character and make them look fancy, you should be able to. And especially if it's like a perfect example is like Daylight, who reaches out to licensed characters, and they keep the prices reasonable and they keep things like manageable for everyday players. If you tell a player you can get an advantage by spending $15 on packs, you're walking a dangerous path. You really are.
Daylight's a bad example for that, in my opinion. As someone who has an unfortunate amount of time in Daylight, that
An
is.
unfortunate amount of time. Shit.
You say that. Have you seen how much money Call of Duty's charging for just cosmetics these days?
I mean, it's Call of Duty. They can get away with probably actual murder, and no one would care.
$20
$20
for a costume and a gun skin.
They're insane pricings. I don't think I've spent.
Meanwhile, in Daylight,
money.
all you need to do is just dump points into Claudette, and you're immediately like a sweat.
I don't think. Oh, okay. I see how it is. Anyways, I don't think I've spent money.
Oh, what? What's that, Darwin?
I don't think I've spent money on Call of Duty in years, ever since Modern Warfare came out. Like, sure, the occasional pack here and there, but man, they're so expensive. I stopped like halfway through Modern Warfare's life cycle, and I haven't touched that in-game store since.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Crazy how expensive those things are. Some of them weren't even that good looking to warrant the price.
There was one license one they had that I would have considered had it not been $25. Like, anyone in this party want to take a guess? No. Adrian, you want to take a guess?
No, I really don't.
They had the original 2080 Joseph Dredd cosmetic.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it looked cool. It was like even the original art style where the proportions were way off. Like the body was really skinny and the armor was super bulk. And it was cool.
You're jealous.
But it was $25 for the skin in black and white, and one pistol looks like the older generation Lawbringer. And it's not a good pistol. It's not one anyone uses. It's this shitty little burst one that has no range, a ton of recoil, and a 15-round mag. That is not Lawbringer to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I might just be stuck up. The only game I've actually paid for cosmetics in like the last ever was Hunt Showdown, because those are too good.
Yep, same.
Yeah, those are good.
Same. Yeah.
Dude, I'm still debating buying the Kid. I don't use those pistols, but they look kind of nice.
Look kind of nice.
And the Kid, dude, the Kid. What more do you need?
I can't say too much because I've bought the Kid, the Reptile, and the Wraith.
I've only bought Reptile, but I do plan on getting Kid at some point.
You are a lizard, so I wouldn't judge you for that.
That's true.
That's fucking running joke, I swear.
It's not a joke, it's a fact. But anyways, no, the Kid is definitely a good one. I mean, to be fair, even though it's a cosmetic, you get something out of that. You get some sort of gameplay. I don't want to say advantage, but you get a gameplay inclusion out of it. It's a legendary that you can always get.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 perks for it, and your chunks are still randomized. So it's not like it's not like you're getting an advantage per se. Because you can buy a regular hunter off the store that's for like $1,000 that will probably have the same, if not better things, if you have my luck.
Well, that's the thing. If you just want a legendary, you could do that too. You don't even need the paid ones. You can buy legendaries with in-game currency, so you're still guaranteed that.
True.
You might just not have. What's up?
I was gonna point out that shit. Right now, the Reverend is like on sale, and I'm very close to being able to purchase him. I'm like, you know what? I want to work towards getting that $3.99 blood bonds and just buying Reverend straight out. And I haven't paid a penny towards any of it.
So what I hear is we need to play more games.
Do we now? I am so down.
We were on a good streak earlier.
You get 2 blood bonds a game, and it's $3.99. That's 150 games.
You average 2 blood bonds a game. You know us. We find and loot enough people. We'll rake it up quick.
True. We've been on a hot streak lately. But I'll be honest, as much as I want the Reverend in the shirt, I really am just I'm buying Scrooge. That's all there is to it.
As you can see, we get easily distracted.
It's a good game.
We're
The
still
characters
in
are
the
super
DLC.
well
a
rendered
good
and developed.
game. It is a good game. I
We're
love it.
still talking about the topic. It's fine.
Yo,
Yeah,
audience,
it's
if you haven't done
DLCs,
it,
bro.
do yourself a favor. Go check out Hunt Showdown. Even if you don't want to play it, check it out on stream. It is
Watch the kid
genuinely
trailer.
fun to watch. Yeah, watch any of the trailers. The cinematics are so good. How come the Halo
Really
game
good.
cinematics don't look like that?
This man.
No comment.
Um,
I was gonna say something before this rant, and I cannot possibly. Think
We got
of what
lost.
it is. Should we wrap? Are we gone?
No, we're still pretty early in it.
Are we?
all right.
Hasn't it been like 40 minutes?
It's at 40, but you know what? I think I'm just gonna say my closing comment here, and
Okay.
fuck EA,
Big facts. I
and
support.
that's it. I'm out.
I'd buy that for $1.
Don't say that to them.
Yeah, can we start a petition to just pay EA out and just force them to close? Like, how many
Before
people
we
play Warzone?
go into
No, this is
making
my closing
enemies of
comment.
people in the
No,
This
this
is
is
your
my
closing
closing comment. Say,
Can we boycott EA?
honestly, say like 2 million people play like Warzone or something, and there's a news post where Treyarch's like, or who makes Warzone? I don't even fucking know. It's just like, yo, if everyone donates $10, we can buy out EA and force them to close forever. I would donate $10,
We buy out EA and sell it to Frost Software.
Bro,
and we sell it to Naughty Dog.
We sell them to Naughty Dog.
bro. I'm gonna be real. I love Apex. Apex is fun, but boy, these heirlooms and everything in the store, I'd rather give my kidney to science. These pricings are
I don't
ridiculous.
give a shit about Apex. I need Titanfall back. Give me the good game.
Yo, facts though. I want Titanfall,
Yeah.
bro. What happened? Where's the support on that shit? People still play.
Honestly, even give us a mobile game or something. Like, damn.
Oh my god. Did you just say you wanted a Titanfall dating sim? That's what I heard.
I'll take that too. I'll do it.
What
Like
do I
Cortana,
feel like you're
better.
going to talk to the robot? What's his name?
Jack?
No. The one that's the faction leader because the old guy went out to buy booze and never came back.
He died in the line of fire.
Marvin?
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, Marvin. That's his name.
Marvin. Oh, you love Marvin.
Dude, Marvin's he's a go-getter, man. He never isn't smiling.
Nah,
Also-
man. If you're talking to the Titanfall community, bro, 90% of them would probably try to date the Ronin.
I think you misspoke and meant to say Marvin.
I want to say he's wrong, but I know
Speaking
he's
about
not.
Marvin, though, watch the guy who stands at the front of the ship and never high fives him. I'm so glad he gets bottom lobby every game. Anyways, that's my closing note. Fuck
That's a
yeah.
good closing note.
Fuck EA.
Is it
Fuck
me then?
Activision.
Oh, okay. I got flashbang by that whole tangent. say-
Flashbang by words.
Yeah, genuinely. I gotta say, I'm not against DLC. I'm all for supporting an artist, especially if they deliver. Companies in the past, like Gearbox, BioWare, you're on thin ice lately, but I'm keeping an eye on you. And sometimes even Call of Duty can get lucky. I think if they can deliver, I have no issue with a little extra, a little expansion. Brandon brought up a great point of don't release a piece of it and act like you're king of the world and expect game of the year. I think it's a very fine line to walk, and I think there is hope, especially since good stuff has been sprinkled here and there. Iceborne being a good example, things of that nature. But if I'm going to stay in this and you want to win me over, hit me with the next Undead Nightmare, because Red Dead needs some shit like that.
Oh
That
my
broke
God.
the internet. That broke consoles because people were playing it so much, and that broke players because, much like me, people will have that expectation set way too high for the rest of their lives.
Fair.
And that's what I want. That's what I'm getting out of this episode.
Oh my God. Please.
Oh, secondary closing note, actually. Remember when DLCs used to come on discs because they were so big?
I didn't need to be called out like that.
Oh, I was there too.
Yeah, they were mine. I bought them, fucker.
I know, but like, anyway, what I mean is you weren't alone in that.
Yeah.
Anyways, is that
Wind
all
us down,
everyone
good
has,
sir.
or are we just gonna start screaming at each other some more?
I think we should stop.
I think
we get to that.
I think we need to stop. Yeah.
All right, glad to hear it. Well, folks, I think that's all we have for today. It's been lovely talking to everyone. I've been Siegelin. This has been great fun, Darvo. Any last comments before we go?
All
right, Mikey. Any last comments before we go?
I should stop now before I get us in trouble.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, folks. It's been a great time. We love having you around here, and we hope to see you again. Have a good night.